Senator Van Hollen. Senator Scott.
Thank you, Chairman Sanders. There are a few things more important than protecting and preserving America's fundamental safety net programs, specifically Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. As we all have seen, career politicians in Washington have ignored them for decades, putting them at an incredible risk. Some have even advocated to cut spending for these programs. President Biden is part of that crowd. In fact, Chairman, you focused heavily on Joe Biden's attacks on Social Security and Medicare during your campaign for president in 2020. Your vocal criticism of President Biden's record of attacking Social Security and Medicare is how I know you agree with me that spending cuts on these programs have no business being entertained here in the U.S. Senate. I'm glad we're talking about these programs today, and I want to thank you for holding this hearing today. Social Security is projected to run out in 12 or 13 years. Medicare Part A will begin to run out in just 4 years. Medicaid costs continue to skyrocket. It's becoming a bigger and bigger part of the federal budgets. It's clear that what we're doing is not working, so I think we all could agree it's time to act. I propose that Congress regularly review all these programs. Of course, some of my colleagues and some of the people testifying today have decided to lie about what I've been proposing. So let's be clear. I'm never going to support cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And outside of Joe Biden, I don't know too many other folks in Washington that want to see these programs be cut or go away either. Some of the panelists may not know that Congress regularly reviews essential programs and functions of the federal government and should regularly review essential programs and functions of the federal government. As you know, we don't even vote on Social Security and on Medicare, which makes no sense. For 61 consecutive years, Congress has successfully passed the National Defense Authorization Act. The NDA sets the budget for the entire Department of Defense. It is a critical series of must-pass national security and defense budget laws that Congress has never failed to approve, not even once. Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid are no different. If we want these programs to survive and further to avoid any cuts to benefits, we need to act today. With that said, I have a few questions. Ms. McGinnis, while both trustee reports represent modest improvements from last year, this is mainly because of its outdated and unrealistic economic assumptions. For example, CRFB noted that the Social Security trustees projected a 3.8% cost of living adjustment for next year, which would require about a 6% annualized deflation over the next few months. So, Ms. McGinnis, can you tell me how the trustees' report findings would have been different if their economic assumptions were accurate and actually reflected the historic inflation we are currently seeing?
Yeah, that's right. They had to lock in the economic conditions earlier, so we didn't see how they weren't able to see that inflation would be as high as it is. What this will translate is into significantly higher COLA for seniors. We heard a lot today about Social Security benefits not keeping up with inflation, and that's not the case. It's actually one of the programs that's automatically indexed for both wages and prices, so in many ways it grows quite significantly. But we will see bigger COLAs than they're estimating, and that means that we could even see a sooner insolvency date than is predicted in the current report.
Thank you. Mr. Ukopeth, according to last week's report from the Social Security trustees, the Social Security trust funds will deplete their reserves in 2035, only 13 years from now. After that, Social Security will legally only be able to pay, I think it's about 77% of scheduled benefits. The Medicare trustees report estimates that the Medicare Hospital Insurance Trust Fund will be insolvent in just 6 years by 2028 and run deficits of $530 billion over the next decade. This is clearly unacceptable, and fixing the dire financial situations of these programs will require congressional and presidential leadership, not just political gimmicks, like the chairman has suggested today, which he knows will never happen. The last time the OMB director testified in front of this committee, I asked her what OMB and the Biden administration were doing to address the threatened state of Medicare and Social Security that threatens millions of constituents in my state. You know what her answer was? Nothing. She couldn't give me anything that they were doing. This is also unacceptable and shows how unserious Biden and the Democrats are about preserving Medicare and Social Security. Social Security and Medicare are facing serious challenges, but this hearing is, I don't believe, a good faith example to explore solutions. I agree with you. We ought to have proposals on both sides, and we shouldn't be attacking everybody and be lying about things they put out. I think we have to start talking about what we're going to do to fix this. And when people lie about when somebody says, "Oh, we ought to have a real good discussion about this," I think it's inappropriate. So, do you agree that presidential leadership is going to be required to be able to solve both Social Security and Medicare?
Yes, absolutely, Senator. I think we need leadership from both the administration as well as Congress, and we need more proposals on the table because this is such a critical issue for the American people. And I'm encouraged by the fact that there are many members that are working on this behind the scenes and hoping that that continues momentum over time.
Have you seen one proposal out of the Biden administration?
I have not, Senator.
Thank you.